Right, yeah, so I'm going to be teaching you how to actually edit some street photography photos. So I've actually got some from probably a few months ago, and I haven't actually been editing. And I was actually just scrolling through Lightroom, and then I'm like, oh, I may as well teach you guys about how I've actually edited street photography throughout my whole entire career. I mean, sorry. And so. Yes, that's just gonna be it. That's just gonna be like the whole entire base of the video of just how I would edit some of my photos and how I go about it, what type of stuff, what to look for, what to avoid. And so obviously with daytime photos, I would definitely recommend to get an anti-filter, as with my current camera, which is recording this video. I would definitely recommend to get an anti-filter if you're taking photos in daytime. As you can definitely tell with some of the photos over here. They are a bit bright, as you can tell from the floor and all sorts. So I'll definitely say get an anti-filter. That's what I recommend, because at the moment I don't know if I've got an anti-filter. I know I've got like some sort of filter, which is that. I'm not really too sure. I'm still haven't even opened it, but yeah, but it's a polarizing filter. So yeah, all right, let's get cracking to the video. All right, so what I look for in terms of my editing style these days, I used to be very dark in terms of just my exposure. So at the moment, I used to be very obsessed with the contrast, as I'd literally just do that. Like do just these two and then just do the base of the basic editing. That's what I used to do. But now I don't do that, because it's a bit, you gotta have a strategy of how you're gonna avoid, brightness and all sorts. So you just gotta look for those type of things. I don't really think this is actually very clear. So okay, I like that. All right. So at this point, I'll definitely down the exposure as it is a bit bright at this point. And then we go for the contrast, just that little bit there to just grab a bit more darkness over here and all sorts. And then we just up the highlights just that little bit. I know it's a bit bluey, so that's a good thing. At least it's not overexposed and all sorts. And so I'm just going to up the shadows just that tiny bit if it can, because it's a bit laggy. Up it so it's not too, dull, plain and all sorts. I will be using my presets to see what effects there is, because I have tested out in all sorts of images, like such as nature, street photography, and sceneries and all sorts. So sorry, I was very that's okay. So it's going to brighten up just a little bit, and then we're just going to try and just get that. Just going to see what settings I use for this. I think I used the exact same camera, so I must have zoomed in. Yeah, because with the Canon R7, if you're interested in getting it, once you zoom in, it goes towards f.5. But with the wide aperture, which is 18 millimeters, it goes towards 3.5. So we're just going to up the vibrance just a little bit with this photo. And at this point, I'm going to try to literally type of thing. I probably will crop it a little bit, as I don't like this area here where it's aimed at. So I might actually just do that right now. Okay. So I'm just going to just get that. Feel that. And that should be good. It looks somewhat better. Okay, we'll just give this like a 5 or so. And then we'll go through another section of photos. Let's go with this one. I'm actually going to test out my preset with this one, because I have a feeling it'll be pretty decent. Alright, it's pretty decently exposed, so we're just going to go up towards the preset section. At this point, I'm just going to test out. So I think in terms for, let's go with the Amazing Spider-Man preset. Let's see how that goes. Okay, that actually does it pretty well. I'll give it that one. And then we're just gonna probably give it like that type of thing. And we're probably just gonna do it like that. Let's see if that's straight enough. That's straight enough. Okay, good. So those are the settings for the Amazing Spider-Man preset, as it's a pretty, pretty good in terms of it. And we're just going to give it a little bit. I feel like there's not much blue. I feel like there's too much blue, so we're just going to try and get that to be like that type of thing. Sometimes I do like to customize them around. And so we're just going to try. Okay, the midtones are all good. Okay, that's all right then. I'll show you with the black and white what I'll do with black and white as well, because I do like to use black and white if you have not noticed. So we're going to edit the black. We're going to go ahead and pick black and white. So I do like to use black and white images in terms for like this, or either just street photography in general. If you have not noticed, in terms of my past editing tutorials and all sorts. So I'm just going to show you like just what I literally do in terms of just street photography, as I want to be able to, get you guys something in terms for what I do in terms of post editing and all sorts of what I look for and stuff like that. But with masking and stuff, I don't tend to use it too much in street photography. I just tend to use the colors and the light and all sorts. But if it does need masking, then I'll use masking. But the only time I actually do use masking is obviously in like product photos and all sorts. That's the only time I really use it, besides the linear gradient. Liner gradient? I don't know how to say it. Liner gradient if it's too bright and stuff like that, which I will use in one image. But in this image, I'm not going to use it. What the fuck? Oh, I didn't mean to do that color bit there. Anyways, so we're just going to just up the brightness just that little bit. And so we're just going to, I feel like it's a bit too dark, so we're just going to just try it up a little bit. And at this point of time, we're just going to up the mid-tones to make it a bit more brighter a little bit, as I can just see it's a bit bright. Alright, we're just going to just get that and up the highlights just that little bit. Okay, alright. So that's pretty good. We'll go back to this one. So we're going to go ahead. Alright, we can definitely use masking in this one, as the brightness in terms of the sky and stuff is way too bright. So we're just going to down it just that little bit. And then we're going to use masking to be able to make the background. I think Lightroom's just having a bit of issues, because I did have to update Lightroom although, so that must be the reason why. I'm not too sure. But anyways, we're just going to up the shadows anyways, because it was way too dark in terms of just this area as well, where the people are and all sorts. You couldn't really see much of them. Like if I go back, you can't. It's very dark in that area, so we're just going to up the brightness, because I feel like if the buildings and stuff are dark, then you have to up the shadows. Because I always do that, because I used to just go like this and you won't be able to see anything. That's right. Well, not obviously not 100, but I used to just go like that and you wouldn't really see much. It's just because I was an absolute bit of a beginner. Let's just say that. Alright, and right now we're just going to just up the exposure just that tiny bit. I feel like the whites in the sky are a bit too much, so we're just going to try and go ahead and get that again, because I feel like it's just way too bright. There we go, now it's finally done the sky. Alright, so we're just going to just down the highlights just that little bit. Just like that, not too blue. It's going to go ahead and do that, and then we're just going to an exposure like that, and so. Alright, and the cropping needs to have a little bit of work, so we're just going to straighten it. Always straighten your photos, as this was a beginner mistake I always made. Whenever I cropped my images, I wouldn't crop my images. I would literally just go, oh yeah, that's perfect, the croppings. Because I wouldn't really touch much of editing softwares at the start, but I'll definitely say definitely do it, as you will get better along the way of editing and all sorts. So we're just going to down the mid-tones, and then we're going to up the shadows again. Actually not too much, there we go. I do feel like that building there is way too dark, so I'm going to try and pinpoint a color, and we're just going to just grab that, and we're just going to see what it does. Just going to do that, make it a bit more stand out, just that little bit. I feel like the sky is also way too blue. Does that make any sense? Way too blue? If it does, then I'm not too sure. All right, we're just going to just saturate just that little bit, make it a bit. Not too much, like not too over edited, if that's make any sense, because sometimes that would happen in terms of my photos. Alright, I feel like this is actually a pretty decent image, as I feel like it's good so far. Alright, we're just going to do, there we go. Alright, we can definitely use the linear gradient in this one. So it's going to do that. So Landing Gradient is basically a well, it shows you here. So basically you just drag and you just click and drag and set towards the start. So for example, if I want to drag it along there, and then it will give me a little bit of a lighting here, and basically I can just down the exposure, and it'll basically turn off the brightness up there. So we're just going to down the highlights as well, just so it doesn't give me too much of an effect, does it? I don't know, I'm not too sure. Just going to up the shadows as well. Ooh. There we go. Alright, that should be good. Now we're just going to down exposure, and we're going to actually the ground is also a bit too bright as well, so we're just going to try and make sure to just make it a bit darker and make it a bit more. There we go. And we're also going to do the subject as well, which is, it should be this building, hopefully. Pardon me, hopefully. But yeah, this is basically what I would do in terms of just these photos, as I haven't edited these photos at all, even really looked at them. But once I went to just by date, which is there, and so I just wanted to see what I can do in terms of like improve my editing skills and all sorts. So it's going to just make it a bit like that at this point, because like you can't really. Lightroom can't really get towards these areas here for some reason, because trees are in the way. Well, that's the reason. Okay, alright. We're just going to up the contrast just up a little bit, make it a bit more difference. Up the highlight just like that, and then up the shadows just to make it a bit more of a brighter thing. And there we go. But yeah, let me know if you have gotten my presets so far, and just let me know in terms of what's the best and worst, as I'm trying to improve every single time that if someone buys it or whatever. I just want to see what can be improved and all sorts, because I just want to have a testimonial with it and all sorts, because yeah, at this point of time, I feel like these presets can actually be very effective, which I will show you. One which is probably one of my favorite ones of most of them. So I'm gonna try and find an image, because sometimes you want to get the preset to match, because that's what I mostly try and do with most of these. I try to match what it would suit and all sorts. So I'm just gonna try and find an image that would suit it. So let's just let's go for the Batman preset here. Just a little bit of like a show showing sort of thing. Hopefully it loads, because sometimes the Batman thing can be a bit too much, can be a bit too, I guess it slows down the slot, like the loads for a while. Okay. Yeah, so it gives me a little bit of the orangey vibe type of thing, so we'll probably down that path. So we're just going to just down the exposure just a little bit. Just to make it's like a bit of like an afternoon type of thing, type of vibe, if you get what I mean. But at this point, we're just going to, this will probably suit more of a nighttime type of thing. I'll definitely say that one, as obviously it's pink, which is completely fine. But yeah, I'd say definitely for the Batman one, definitely use it for nighttime photos, as it is quite sick. So we're just going to try, I'm just going to try and just down it a bit less, as you can edit on these presets, obviously with these settings and all sorts. So yeah, we're just going to try and do that, and we're going to probably make it a bit more of a, the contrast just a bit more up, and we're just going to just down the blacks, as we want to make it a little bit dark at this point and get the cropping right, because I feel like it's a bit too wonky. Yep, that seems to be good from my eyes. Obviously, if it's not good, then just tell me in the comments if my cropping is a bit wrong. Okay, alrighty. Alright, let's make another one. Let's go with this one. Alright, let's see. Alright. Let's see what the Joker. Where's the Joker one? Let's go with the Joker one because I feel like that would suit a vibe like this. We'll just. I'm gonna fix that. Let's just fix the blue because I feel like they'll probably suit more nighttime. Yeah, they'll definitely suit more nighttime. I feel like because it's the preference image for it is obviously not for daytime. So let's just go ahead and use another one because it's a bit blue, as it will probably suit more of a nighttime thing. Let's just go ahead. Let's just try and use it anyway. So we're just definitely going to down the blues. Alrighty. Alright. Just going to head and go like that. That looks like more of a Transformer type of vibe. Probably the Darker Moon type of thing. Alright. At the moment, we're just going to down the exposure. This is obviously with the Joker preset settings just a bit less blue, as definitely I will definitely work on that one. Okay, alrighty. I'll definitely have to work on that one, the Joker one. Alright. With daytime images, of course, which I did practice with. It just didn't turn out that blue. Okay, there's obviously the midtones are a bit off. That's okay. All right. Okay, I feel like this is actually pretty decent. All right, just go with that one. Okay. All right. It's probably about all the images I can really edit with because I can see a few. But if not, then yeah, that'll be it about the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and all sorts. Do let me know in the comments if you do like the presets so far, if you have bought them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.